I think the budget cuts for higher education are terrible. I think the education is the future for our state and for our nation. Well-educated people playing an active role in democracy. I think the more educated people are, the tougher they are with politicians. And I think the problem that we have in California especially are incompetent politicians who don't pay attention to what's best for the state. They don't care about what's best for students. They kind of think about what's best for them politically. How to get reelected, how can I get another job in Sacramento, how can I make more money, how can I get people on my side, instead of saying what's best for the state. Part of the problem we have with students, they spend a lot of time worrying about Sacramento. I think they should look at the college also and say, well, what should they cut? If they're going to cut $5 million from De Anza College, what should they cut? Should they cut sections for students? Or should they freeze salaries? Should they lower pay? Should they fire some managers? You know, make tough decisions here too. And I think sometimes we like to see students go to Sacramento to complain, and we don't listen to you enough right here as well. So I think budget cuts are terrible, but government has a lot of waste too. Even here in colleges and schools, I think there's a lot of waste. And so I think we could do a better job in Sacramento, we could do a better job here too. But it's really up to students to fight for what you want here. Because if you ask a college employee, what do you want to see happen? They'll say, I want to keep my job, right? That's their priority. You can't blame them. Their priority is probably not having more English sections for you guys or more math classes for you guys. First and foremost, they want to save their own neck. So I think sometimes students need to play a more active role on campus, pushing the college president, pushing the academic senate to do what's best for students, not what's necessarily best for workers. And I'm not saying you should battle the workers all the time, but I think you have to remind us, the teachers and the president and the deans and the secretaries, that we're all really here for students, and when we make cuts, let's try and protect the student experience as much as possible. You know, the state has lots and lots of workers, hundreds of thousands of workers. And we're paid a lot of money too. Nobody likes to say this, but the pay for public workers now is higher than it is for people in private business. So maybe we can't pay Druehl so much. Maybe we can't pay President Murphy so much. Maybe we can't pay state workers so much. Maybe we have to lower wages a little bit to save money. Nobody likes to talk about that, because when you have 200,000 or 300,000 government workers, they're not going to talk about cutting their pay or reducing the number of workers. They're going to say people should pay more taxes, right? Or more, and that's kind of the big fight is, should people pay more taxes, or should government spend less money, or should there be a combination of both? Politicians, it's easy to say raise taxes on the rich. They can afford to pay it. But if we raise the taxes too much on the rich, they'll leave the state and go to Nevada where the taxes are much lower, or they'll go to Arizona where the taxes are lower, or they'll go to Florida. And we can't afford to be too tough on the rich, even though they can afford to pay more, because if we charge them too much, they'll leave. That's the danger of raising taxes too much. It hurts business. And businesses create jobs, and when you create jobs, you pay taxes. So the future of the state really is dependent upon businesses being successful in making more money and hiring more people, and then we can pay more taxes. And sometimes I think the state sees a business as an enemy or as a bank to take money from, instead of as an economic engine that will create more jobs in the long run. So yeah, I believe in education where I spent all my life, you know, teaching or in administration, and I think, and I've done this because I believe education is the future for our nation, the future for young people, and the future for our state. But I really think that the government and we, the people, haven't done a good job of holding education accountable and getting rid of politicians when they don't do the right thing. We keep electing the same people over and over. If we'd kick them out and scare them a little bit, I think they'd do a better job up there.